name is Mary Ellen Holden, and I will be this evening's MC. Our Bristol Tramps chairman, Dan Valerio, and I, along with the rest of the members of the Bristol Tramps Sports Reunion Committee, welcome you to our golden 50-year anniversary dinner. And I'll tell you, after last year, I wasn't sure we were ever going to get here. It was a long year for everyone. Please stand now and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation and moment of reflection to be rendered by Father Glenn Dimitrician of St. Gregory's Church.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great honor to be here this evening. I want to thank the committee for asking me to do this. I was actually a little surprised. And I learned about the history of what this organization does and how important it is for so many. I wasn't going to say this, but since it's a sports venue, I am an avid fan of the New York Yankees, so I both applaud and apologize. And right now it's getting a little intense because the wild card is now not looking so good. So anyways, but I do, Mary Ellen was telling me about the good that this does, and growing up I played soccer, and just knowing the goodness of what this does and how important it is for our young people to have the importance of what athletics teach, right? Community building, teamwork, determination, confidence, all these things are so important. So I'm very honored to be here, and we will just say a quick prayer. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we give you thanks for the gift of this time. We ask that you bless our food, bless our conversation, and may you continue to bless the work that this organization does in our local community. And may we be mindful of those, our brothers and sisters, who will go without a meal this evening. As together we pray, bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we're about to receive from your goodness through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. I would like to take 1 minute to thank Jerry Burns, who donated to our happy hour, which I thought was really, really nice. At this time, I would like to introduce our very special guest, our Mayor, Ellen Zappo-Satsu, joins us this evening, along with First Gentleman Peter Satsu, City Council members Dave Proletsky, Peter Kelly, and Mary Fortier. We welcome all of you to this, our very special 50th anniversary. Madam Mayor.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. It's so good to be back in a room with people talking about sports. I think that one of the biggest concerns over the last 18 months is all of our young people, those who are fans, those who are supporters, those who are coaches, and the void that the pandemic left in our sports fabric. So tonight, we not only celebrate 50 years, but we look back and we look forward. And we are here tonight amongst friends together, some of us with masks, some of us without, but again, looking forward to hopefully what is a robust fall season and another great chapter for the Bristol Sports Reunion Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Over the past 2 years, we lost 3 highly respected individuals. Sadly, we lost Megan Wright Martin, whom we honored in 2015 with the Lydia Jabs Bailey Award, and George Sennett, our 2014 Chuck McCarthy honoree. We also lost our dear friend and supporter, Mrs. Antoinette Scalia. And lastly, every member of the Tramps Committee, Mrs. Our own Armin Bud Chenier. I ask that we just observe a moment of silence in memory of these three people. Thank you. As we have in the past, we wish to thank the Webster Bank for sponsoring the showing of the DVD. As you can see, Nutmeg TV is here filming our event, and their premiere date for showing it on Nutmeg TV is September 22nd at 6 p.m., but this year you can also watch it on YouTube. That's different. We are also on Facebook, so you can check us out there. I'd like to also take a minute to thank the Tramps members, Frank Oshenko, Larry McDonald, and Lance Pepper for manning our ticket table. Thank you. Now, before dinner is served, we would like to mention our 6 scholarship recipients. Thanks to the generosity of D'Amato Construction, the Scalia family, and the John E. Tavera Family Memorial Fund, and in conjunction with the Tramps Scholarship Fund, we were pleased to present 3 $1,000 scholarships in 2020 and 3 more in 2021. At this time, our 6 recipients are in school, or they better be, and unable to be here this evening. However, we are happy to have joined with the D'Amato, Scalia, and Tavera families to provide scholarships to the following students. From Bristol Eastern, Leah Policarpio and Avery Brascia each received the Julie Larice Patricia D'Amato Memorial Scholarship. The recipients from Bristol Central High School that received the Julie Larice, Frank and Antoinette Scalia scholarships are Mackenzie Pina and Natalia Populars. And the Julie Larice John E. Tavera Family Memorial Fund Scholarship was presented to 2 St. Paul High School graduates, Jay Udo and Nina Swalinski. Those 6 students are clearly a credit to their families, to their schools, and to our community. They represent the future, and I'm confident that they will continue on the road to being strong leaders in their adult lives. Please enjoy your dinner. Thank you. Coaches. Coaches are people who work tirelessly to shape the lives and the characters of their players. As I do every year, I'm going to ask each and every coach in this room, no matter what level, to stand and be recognized for what you do. So if you've coached at any level, please stand and be recognized. At this time, in keeping with Tony Savino's wishes, I ask that we just take a moment to remember all of our servicemen and women who have lost their lives for our country. Please think about the members of our Bristol National Guard, as well as all of the troops who are serving around the world. This year, the Ron Chenier Award will be presented to Allison Willett. Allison is 20 years old and a graduate from IEA, the Intensive Education Academy. Allie completed the 2-year program in culinary arts at Bristol Tech and has been working at Starbucks for about 2 years. She's slated to begin Project Search this fall for her final year of school. According to her mom, Allison is strong, smart, funny, and driven. She's also autistic and has 3 specific learning disabilities in reading, in writing, and in math. Allison's journey has not been an easy one, but she has persevered, and she has accomplished some pretty amazing things. Allison has participated in the Challenger Baseball and Discovery Basketball program for the past 9 years. Allison and her family are thankful for the program, which is run by volunteers, for our youth who wouldn't otherwise be able to play in any other circumstance. In that program, Allison has not only played, but she has also acted as a peer buddy to help the younger players. Allison has also participated in Unified Volleyball. She was a peer leader for Unified Theater and participated in Unified Jazz Band throughout her time at the IEA. Also, as a student at the Academy, she earned the American Citizenship Award twice. She was awarded the Presidential Academic Excellence Award and the American Legion Award, which recognizes qualities of courage, honor, leadership, and community service. Allison has enjoyed being part of the Spectrum Unplugged panel with a focus center on autism. This panel speaks to parents, peers, school community organizations in an effort to help create candid conversations about their journey with autism and encourages awareness and acceptance. In 2019, Allison was on a panel at our state capitol speaking to legislators as a self-advocate. She courageously spoke about the services and the support that is needed as young adults with autism transition into adulthood. Lastly, for the last 2 years, Allison has been a volunteer for Brian's Angels Homeless Outreach, and she has enjoyed giving back to her community. I do believe that we need not only to honor Allison with the Ron Chenier Award, we really need to thank her for all that she does for others. The daughter of Melissa Mills and Dana Willett, Miss Allison Willett.
Thank you. I would like to say I'm honored to receive this award. I remember when I first started Challenger, I became so upset because I couldn't hit the baseball. Coach D would spend a lot of time with me in the dugout, a lot, trying to get me out so I can try and hit the ball again. However, now it's a whole different story, okay? Not only can I hit home runs, I have hit cars. I've hit a lot of valuable things that I shouldn't have hit, and I'm sorry. Won't happen again. So I hope that all you realize that just because something is hard doesn't mean that you won't succeed in the long run. Overall, congratulations to all the other recipients. I am really honored, and thank you. Have a good night.
In celebration of our 50th anniversary, we would briefly like to celebrate our past honorees that are in attendance this evening. So, before each of tonight's honorees is introduced, I will read off a list of the previous honorees, again, that are present in this room tonight. I will ask that you stand and remain standing until I have announced all of the past honorees. And with me up here is Chris D'Amato. He is one of our executive directors. Stand up. All right, let's start with the previous Chuck McCarthy Award honorees. They are Chris D'Amato, Tony Floyd, Jack Hines, Paul LaFleur, Bob Montgomery, and Phil Pirog. This year's Chuck McCarthy Award recipient is David Hernandez. In his youth, David played basketball at the Bristol Boys Club, Little League Baseball, and the Forestville Little League, where many years later, his two daughters, Crystal and Davina, would play. He also played for the Packers in the midget football program. At Memorial Boulevard School, Dave played basketball and baseball, and then he went on to become a three-sport athlete at Bristol Central, playing football, basketball, and baseball. He earned 8 varsity letters, and he made an impact in all 3 sports. In his junior and senior years on the football team, where the team had records of 9-1 and 8-2 respectively, David started as both an offensive and defensive end. In his junior year, he earned all conference honors, and in his senior year, the year that he was the team's captain, Dave earned all conference honors and second team all-state honors. On Central's basketball team, Dave played varsity ball in his sophomore, junior, and senior years. Rebounding was Dave's forte, but he also had 700 career points and was named Bristol Savings Bank's Player of the Week for one of his very best outings. David played 2 years of varsity baseball. He pitched a no-hitter in his junior year against Woolkid, and he had a career batting average over 300. After graduating high school, David went off to play Division I football at UConn. He then transferred to Mattituck Community College, where he finished out his college football career, breaking the existing receiving and touchdown records while earning his college degree. As a dad, David began coaching Forestville Little League's Pirates softball team. Both of his daughters played for him, and the team won multiple league championships and City Series championships. He also coached several Little League All-Star tournament teams, along with several competitive travel teams. But Dave didn't just coach softball. At the Bristol Boys Club, David coached travel basketball for 4 years. He also coached Pop Warner football. Health issues sidelined Dave for a number of years, but recently he's been coaching a competitive college showcase team with his daughter, Davina. What a team that is. Dave and his family are very involved in the community. They volunteer by helping needy families at Thanksgiving and by helping out at the shelters. 7 years ago, Dave's family created its own foundation called Dream Big with Davina. Davina has lupus. But with the proceeds from their annual fundraiser, the family gives out scholarships and they provide medical stipends to others with lupus. A retired Connecticut State Corrections officer, David resides in Bristol with his wife, Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the Chuck McCarthy Award, David Hernandez.
Good evening, everyone. To start, I would like to thank Mary Ellen and the entire Tramps organization and congratulate them on their 50th anniversary. I am honored and privileged to receive the Chuck McCarthy Award. Getting inducted into Tramps Hall of Fame is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. To be included with Bristol's finest sports figures is incredible. I would like to thank Chris D'Amato, who is my good friend and my sponsor, and I promised Chris that I would only speak 4 minutes, but I think it's going to be about 6. Since a young age, all I ever did was play sports. In high school, I played football, basketball, baseball at the varsity level and went on to play collegiate football to end my playing career. I coached Pop Warner football and Bristol Boys and Girls Club travel basketball for many years. But my most gratifying experience was coaching girls softball, which spans about 3 decades. Most recently, I coached 9 years with my daughter, Davina, which is priceless. The purpose of our nonprofit organization is to help young softball players achieve their dreams of playing in college, like my daughter and myself. I thought I knew so much about softball until I coached with my daughter. She put me in my place and said, "Dad, keep quiet." She taught me so much over 9 years, and it was priceless to sit on a bucket with her and coach, and I love her to death. It wasn't for my daughter, Crystal. If it wasn't for my daughter, Crystal, I may not have ever been introduced to coaching softball. My first coaching experience for softball was at Forestville Little League with Mr. Bob Callett, Mr. Kevin Holden, who I loved very much, and Mary Ellen Holden, who I love very much, asked me to be the Little League manager for the Phillies. I had the honor of coaching my daughter Crystal, and 4 years later, my daughter Davina. During that 8-year span, we had some of the best times of our lives. I also had the opportunity to coach both daughters for the Little League All-Stars, Junior League, and Senior League. As Davina went on to play for Team Puerto Rico, I was still in Connecticut receiving treatments for cancer and decided I still wanted to do what I loved, and that was coach. I formed a 23 and under travel softball team who was comprised of college softball players from Connecticut and surrounding states. Then a few years later, I thought I was retired, but my daughter pulled me back in, said, "Dad, I need you for another year." But I loved coaching those 9 years with Davina. We traveled all over the country, and to see the smiles and the looks on these girls' faces when they hit home runs and base hits was so rewarding for me. Before I close, I want to thank all my friends, my brother Vito, you were my role model, my idol, and I always looked up to you. And I love you very much. And to my family, I want to thank my family that's at this table today. I love you all very much. I wish I could name you all by names. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. And my friends that are here tonight, I've had friends that I've had for over 55 years. Mark Noon was my first friend when we were 7 years old. And I love him like a brother, and he was in my wedding in 1981. I'm telling my age. But I'm the luckiest man in the world to have the friends and the support system that I have, because I would have never got through what I went through. And again, before I close, I want to thank all my friends, my brother Vito, my family, for their support, which many of them are here this evening, and they mean the world to me. Some of you may not know, but I have suffered from cancer for nearly 20 years. 6 years ago, I was fortunate enough to receive a liver transplant. I was hospitalized the day of my daughter Davina's senior game in 2004 and wasn't able to walk her out on senior day. I was given months to live. Shortly after that, they told me, some doctor told my wife I had 2 months to live, and I almost hit him with my IV. I said, "You're not God." But I'm still here. Thank you. I am so blessed to be here to welcome my new grandson. He's right there. He's 9 months. I didn't think I'd be here to see it. And a week ago today, I walked my daughter Crystal down the aisle. And unfortunately, she's not here. She's on her honeymoon, and I didn't think I'd be there for that day. Crystal is not here today because she's on her honeymoon, because her and her husband are on their own. I am blessed and proud. I am blessed and proud to have a family that is always there for me. My daughter Crystal and her new husband Jim, my daughter Davina and her fiance Dre. I hope they take their time getting married, because this one was a tough one. My daughter Davina and her fiance Dre, their son King, and my wife, my rock, who saved my life, We've been married 39 years, and I love you more than anything in the world. I don't know how you put up with me that long. I am so fortunate to have her because when doctors told me there was nothing they could do for me, she never gave up, and she found a hospital in New York which was successful, giving me a transplant. I'm truly blessed. All these years, my family, my friends, and my sports families have kept me going. It's truly an honor to receive this award tonight. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Dave. Lisa, do you have a lot of tissues in your house? Yes. All right, let's now recognize the former Lydia Jabs Bailey Award honorees that are present tonight. They are, please stand up, Tammy Chapman, Gail Erickson, Joanne Galati, Kathy Ferrier-Gibson, Mary Ellen Holden, Laura Lishnitz, Dee Valerio Matkika, Tamara Stafford Kirk, and Ginny Terresso. The Lydia Jabs Bailey Award is being presented to Patricia P.T. Tomkill Johnson. P.T. attended St. Stan's School, where she met Rex Hamilton, who was her most favorite PE teacher ever. The Tramps loved Rex too, P.T. She then attended Bristol Eastern, where she played softball and basketball, which were the only sports offered to girls back then. As a junior and as a senior, the year that she captained the basketball team, P.T. earned first and second team all-conference honors. After Eastern, P.T. went on to play basketball and softball at Mattituck Community College. There, she earned the NJCAA Conference Team Awards. And after a year at Mattituck, she transferred to Northeastern University. It was then and there that PT came back to Bristol to work for the Parks and Rec Department. She started the Girls' Evening Summer Basketball Program. Joined by Tammy Chapman, the two successfully ran the Parks and Rec Department's summer basketball and softball leagues. But PT states that her most important job was that of being a physical education teacher in several of Bristol's elementary schools, where she launched a multi-school activities program for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders that included bowling, rollerblading, and skiing programs, respectively. PT also taught middle school physical education, and for 20 years, she taught PE at Bristol Eastern. PT's various coaching positions spanned over 25 years. She was the first coach of Eastern's girls soccer team in 1981. And then, with minimum knowledge of what cheerleading was about, and without any experience whatsoever, PT was chosen to coach Bristol Eastern's cheerleading squad. During her years doing that, PT built the program into one of the top all-around state performing cheer squads that won multiple team trophies, and a program in which there were many individual awards. For 10 years, PT coached indoor track at Bristol Central with Coach Tamara Stafford Kirk. Their teams won various conference titles. While teaching at Bristol Eastern, PT received the Eisenhower Outstanding Educator Award during the 2001-2002 school year, and in 2017, she was the recipient of the Ralph Papazian Leadership Award. PT, tonight, we add to the list of your well-deserved awards. As the Bristol Tramps honor you with the Lydia Jabs Bailey Award, ladies and gentlemen, Patricia P.T. Tomkill Johnson.
Red and white, fight, fight, red and white. Okay. Yes, I promised Bev Kauke I would keep this short. Let me see what I have This is short. But look, can you all read it back there? Oh, anyway. Thank you so much for that. Very humbling welcome. I didn't have any wine. I'm not supposed to be crying. Anyway, first and foremost, congratulations to all of the honorees this evening. I feel humbled to be the recipient of the most honorable Lydia Jabs Award and part of this elite Bristol group. Those of you honored today and those of you in years past. A very special thank you to the Bristol Tramps Sports Reunion Committee for your perseverance and dedication in recognizing so many of Bristol's outstanding contributors. At this time, I would like to thank my mother, who could not be here this evening, who, like my husband, have the patience of a saint. She is the strongest and most unselfish and caring person I know. Thanks, Mom, for letting me be me. I love you. My sister Pam, oh, thank you. She's okay, she broke her foot. My sister Pam unselfishly gives her time, home, and food to anyone in need and has not only been the strength in our family, but a friend and sister I truly love and will always have a special place in my heart. Stop it. I said stop it. Both Pam and Rod have blessed me with 4 astonishing children. My charming, delightful niece, Jaden, was my shadow. Wherever I went or activities I directed, she was right there in the mix. We were inseparable. ILYAMD, Jaden. My nephews, Dathan and Galen, are also my pride and joy. Wrestling with them in the living room was pure laughter and fun. As children, they were both outstanding wrestlers, with one of tonight's outstanding awardees and premier coaches, Bryant Lishness, who coached them at a very young age. Our family's newest addition, Audrin Donnell Joe Ray Hickey, has yet to earn his Bristol stripes, but he is well on his way. I am extremely proud of my family and what they all have struggled through and accomplished. My husband, Arnie, has been to several of Bristol award ceremonies and has come to realize what a special family of people we are. It is his genuine love for family and fishing and everything that I do that I'm ever so grateful. We will share this love and life together always. Thank you, Arnie. Paraphrasing a quote I just recently read online from Broadway's Wicked, people come into our lives for a reason. And I know I'm a better person today because my very dearest friend, Tamara Stafford Kirk, who, like a daughter, holds a very special place in my heart. From teacher and student athlete, we were forced to contend with. We were unbeatable. We became colleagues, and I really mean unbeatable in everything. We became colleagues and coaches of some of Bristol's most elite track and field athletes and championship teams. We were fierce and feared. Tamara is an extraordinary mother, wife, teacher, coach, and most importantly, a true friend. I unreservedly miss and will always love. I am also truly blessed to always have the company of her husband, Doug, and their 2 beautiful and gifted daughters, Lily and Emmeline. Again, I could not imagine my life without them, and most importantly, my family. Tamara, thank you for us. Pam, thank you for everything else. By some standards, we weren't a rich town, but we were a town worth living in. And a town worth living in is a town worth being proud of, and that I am. Bristol is the town where I was born and raised, the town that kept us safe, who regarded family, children, education, recreation, civic duty, and responsibility a priority. The city I came back to pursue my dreams of teaching PE and to give back to all the kids of Bristol. Programs such as bowling, rollerblading, skiing, park department basketball, softball, CPR classes, jump rope for heart, square and line dancing recitals, and get up and move neighborhood walk, both at Edgewood School. 50 years ago, now 51, I was an incoming freshman at Bristol Eastern High School. I hadn't ever been the athletic type, but Page and Rockwell Parks had programs and activities that fostered my desire to move. Although my mother tried many times to enhance my skills, such as sewing class at Singers, ballet classes with Mrs. Wilson, art classes at the Wadsworth Athenaeum, music and theory class lessons at the Hart School of Music, but it was at the park department where I had the opportunities to learn baton, swimming, arts and crafts, roller skating, ping pong, ice skating, social skills, and just how to have fun and play. I believe these experiences fostered my future interest in becoming the Girls Summer Park and Rec Director with Marcia Graham and then with Tammy Chapman, which carried over to after-school activities and coaching opportunities. Opportunities given to me by many of you here tonight. Well, good old Rex Hamilton, as you have heard, was actually my first PE teacher at St. Stan's School. I have taken his enthusiasm, combined with the joy and passion for teaching PE from my mentor and friend, Joanne Galati, and people like Jim Tetro, whose generosity, thoughtfulness, random acts of kindness, along with his fairness and volunteerism, gave me another insight as to the essentials of being extraordinary. It is because of these influential people and so many more that I received this award tonight. And although I am a Patriot and Bengals fan, I recently heard a speech from one of my all-time favorite players from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Troy Polamalu, at the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony. He spoke of what made the difference from being ordinary to extraordinary and what you derive passion and greatness from, and I quote, "It's the ability to learn from the greatness around you and curate for yourself a unique version of their efforts." So thank you. Thank all of the extraordinary people in this room tonight and to everyone who could not be here this evening. Your efforts have made this journey not only possible for me, but for all the students we all have embraced along the way. It was anything but ordinary. God bless.
Thank you, PT. And now, the former Bill Garrett Award honorees, Tony Carrier, and Jim Tetro. The Bill Garrett Award will be presented to Douglas A. Jackson. Doug Jackson graduated from Mary A. Callan Grammar School, where he played basketball, baseball, and was on the swim team. He attended Bristol Central from 1967 to 1971, where he played football, basketball, baseball, and he ran track. In Doug's senior year, he was named All-League, All-State, and All-American in football. That makes sense, since in his senior year, he ran for 1,280 yards and he scored 20 touchdowns. Doug then attended Milford Academy from 1971 to 1972, where he continued to play football on his way to Columbia University, where, from 1972 to 75, he played football. In 1975, Doug led the Ivy League in rushing and in scoring. In fact, Doug was 25th in the nation in rushing and scoring for Division I football. Also in 1975, Doug made the All-Ivy team, the All-East team, and the All-ECAC team, and the All-American team. Doug was named the 1975 Ivy League Player of the Year. Those are amazing honors and the result of hard work on the field. However, Doug also worked hard in the classroom at Columbia too. At graduation, Doug was one of 15 students honored by receiving the David W. Smith Award, which is given to the most outstanding students. A few years after graduating from Columbia, in fact it was in the year 2000, Doug learned that he had been chosen for the football team of the century at Columbia. That's pretty cool. Yeah. After graduating from Columbia, Doug was signed by the Dallas Cowboys to a 2-year contract from 76 to 77. He then went on to play for the New York Giants from 78 to 79. Doug then retired from playing football, but he did not retire from the game. He became a football coach at Columbia University for 1 year, and then he moved on to coach at the University of Pennsylvania until 1986. He then returned to his alma mater, Columbia, to coach for another 2 years. His coaching career didn't end in 1988, but his focus changed. Doug continued coaching football at several area high schools. He coached at Bristol Central, at St. Paul's, and at Prince Tech and at Vinyl Tech, where he is currently the head football coach of the Vinyl Tech E.C. Goodwin co-op football team. Doug Jackson has made Bristol proud. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the recipient of the Bill Garrett Award, Mr. Doug Jackson.
I'd like to thank the committee, especially the Tramps committee. My father was given the Chuck McCarthy Award in 1989, so it's an honor to be mentioned in the same breath as my father. Like David Hernandez, I feel blessed. I had my hip replaced in June, and anybody that tells you a hip replacement is easier than a knee replacement, tell them they're crazy. I had my hip replaced in June, and I got an infection, and I was septic. I almost died. And I'm still on antibiotics. I've been on antibiotics since June 30th, and it's no fun. I was on IV antibiotics for 7 weeks, and now I'm on oral. But I feel like I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. You know, I always said, if God be with you, then who could be against you? And he must be with me, because when I was a kid, I had polio and almost died then, and good Lord just keeps me going. You have to excuse the way I'm dressed. I just got out of football practice. I coach football. I coach football and baseball at Vinyl Tech. The mayor's husband's nephew played baseball for me last year. Where's the mayor? There she is, and her husband. His nephew, Jaden Sassu, played baseball for me last year. He was a pretty good baseball player. I'd like to introduce my table over here. My son, Galen. Stand up, Galen. A lot of people in here probably know him. My beautiful daughter, Harley, who all summer long kept changing my IVs for me. Stand up, Harley. My girlfriend, Laura Bryant. And my sister, who surprised me coming from Florida, Mona Jenkins. And another friend of mine, Harry Gordon. It looks like Santa Claus. But there's a few people in this room that never knew it. I looked up to. Dave Raponi, where's Dave? Where's Dave? Dave Raponi and Mike Giovinazzo. I played sports with them in high school. And where's Vito? Vito Hernandez. And there's Vito. We had some good times together. I'm taking after Mike Giovinazzo now. I gave up teaching, and now I'm just going to coach. I remember Mike, he just coached basketball and baseball, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do what Mike did. So I'm just coaching football and baseball, and I'm going to give up the teaching and get out of the classroom a little bit. But I just like to once again, thank you for this award, and have a good evening.
Okay, I now invite our other co-executive director, Ryan Broderick, who's going to help out with the second half of the program. Thank you, Chris. The following are past Hart Broderick Award honorees. Please stand. John Benoit, Gary Fleming, Mike Giovinazzo, Mike Green, Hal Kilby, Dave Mills, Joe Monet, Mark Noon, Tom Pons, and Paul Tonin. The Hart Broderick Award is being presented to Bob Simitowski. Bob, or Simo, Simitowski was born in Terryville, Connecticut in 1940. In high school, he played varsity basketball and baseball. He graduated in 1958, and in 1962, he married Ann Peck of Forestville. 1 year later, Simo was drafted into the Army, and he served in Germany and in France, where his oldest daughter, Karen, was born. In 1965, he joined Barrows and Wallace Real Estate and worked there until 1974 when he started his own business, the Country Manor Realty. Bob started playing racquetball at the Bristol Boys Club in 1970, and 2 years later, he became the racquetball champion. Simo went on to win many tournaments all over New England and has been the #1 ranked player over 50 in New England. He also won the over 60 national tournament in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have been told that one will find Simo either on the racquetball court at LA Fitness or on the golf course. Bob has been a Bristol Fire Commissioner, a director on the board of the Bristol Boys Club, and he was also president of the Bristol Board of Realtors. Bob believes in Bristol and is philanthropic regarding many of the city's needs. Blessed with a beautiful family, Bob and Ann have been married for 59 years. God bless you. In addition to Karen, Simo and Ann are also the parents of Pamela and Alicia and are proud of their 5 grandchildren, Zoe, Damon, Jenna, Lexi, and Bodie. Simo describes his son-in-laws as the very best. Are they in the room? You're the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the Harp Broderick Award, Mr. Bob Simo Simitowski.
I have nothing prepared to speak about other than it's an honor to be here with the nominees that I'm with. I know Doug, I know all the people who are honored this evening, and I'm honored to be part of their program. I love my family. I am blessed in life by playing a simple sport that nobody enjoyed but I. And it got me here. But the point being, it's a wonderful thing. But now I'm going to say something which is, I hope, profound, which is, there was a guy who made a speech in Yankee Stadium who said, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am the luckiest guy in the world. Thank you.
That was great. Okay, now our former Ed Lodovico Award winners are Paul Greger, Tommy Moylan, and Dennis Sigmund. And no one stood up. There we go. The Ed Lodovico Award will be presented to Tom Chopay. Mr. Chopay, unfortunately, could not be with us this evening. However, he will be watching this presentation on Nutmeg TV. One of the 5 Bristol natives to play Major League Baseball, Tom Chopay is the only one who was born and raised in Bristol. He began honing his best baseball skills when he was young, playing with the neighborhood kids on the ball field next to the former Roberge Dairy off of Stafford Avenue. He also played 1 year of Little League with the Indians team from Forestville in his last year of eligibility back in 1957. Tom became a standout athlete at Stafford School, starring in both basketball as a guard, and along with the late center, Pete List, he often led the team in scoring. Tom also played baseball. He could hit, he could run like the wind, and he fielded very well. Tom brought his athletic skills to Bristol Eastern, and in his very first varsity soccer game, he scored a hat trick. In baseball, he teamed with Bristol Sports Hall of Famers Gary Palladino and Bill Greger. He also joined them on the American Legion baseball team, where they won the state championship in 1962. Following high school, Tom played baseball for Dean Junior College, where he was the team MVP in each of his years there. In 1965, he became the very first Dean College baseball player to be drafted. He spent 7 years in the bigs between 1967 and 1977 as an outfielder, a pinch runner, and as a defensive player. He was one of baseball's fastest runners to first base, and once he played all 3 outfield positions in one game, while also going behind the plate as the catcher. His Baltimore coach, Earl Weaver, liked Chopay for his hustle, and he once asked him, "Can you catch?" Because he was in need of a possible third catcher. Chopay, who had just 2 innings behind the plate in college, said sure he could. And sure enough, when a catcher was needed, Chopay got into the game. A gifted defensive player, he had a major league career, .993 fielding percentage. Some of the highlights of his career were being present for both Harmon Killebrew and Frank Robinson's 500th career home runs, hitting a homer himself at Yankee Stadium, and tying a record with 4 pinch hit appearances in 1 World Series. When Tom played, there were 20 teams in the league, and now there are 30. So this really says a lot about his baseball prowess. He played at the AAA All-Star level when he would go back and forth from the majors to the minors. His lifetime minor league average of .285 says a great deal. He also stole 37 bases in the International League when playing AAA baseball for the New York Yankees Rochester Club in 1970. True fans of the game have never forgotten Tom Chopay. He receives about 20 pieces of mail, and he responds to every one. That's over the course of a month. I know that Bristol is truly proud to call Tom Chopay their hometown hero. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the Ed Ludovico Award on behalf of Tom Chopay is Bob Montgomery.
Bill Gregory is here also. I asked him to come up and speak. He's known Tommy. He's played ball with Tommy on a number of teams. So we're going to share the moment. And Tom did tell me the other day that to thank everybody, thank the Tramps and everybody here that's here enjoying the evening. And he hopes to come back to Bristol one day, but he's not able to right now. I'm going to let Bill say a few things about him, because Bill knows him better than anybody. When they played Legion ball, these two together were awesome. And a lot of these people, including, I'm going to give Rap a little hello. Dave Raponi, would you stand up one more time? Dave, stand up. I don't know why I did that, but I just love Dave. I love Dave. All right, Bill, go ahead.
All right, Dave, sit down. We had enough of Dave Raponi tonight. Tom Chopay was one hell of an athlete. He was a terrific baseball player. He played other sports, but baseball was his forte. And it was my pleasure, along with the rest of the teammates, to be associated with him and play alongside him and to witness his abilities, his skills on the baseball field. Bristol, in general, should recall or remember that he is the only one that I know of anyway, from Bristol, Connecticut, who played in the Major League Baseball. And that is truly remarkable. I'm hoping he's not the last one, but he certainly was the first one. And I'm so proud of him, so proud of what he did for the city of Bristol and for himself and his teammates. He was an inspiration for all of us. I don't think many of you realize that Tom holds a record when he was playing for the Orioles. He pinch hit in 7 consecutive World Series games. And I don't know that anybody else has done that, but he's one of the few that have, if in fact there are more. But we miss him. I was looking forward to seeing him tonight to hash out some old times and relive our past semi-glory days. But unfortunately, he couldn't be here. But I'm sure he thanks you very much for the honor and looks forward to maybe getting together with us at some future date. So thank you.
In closing, Tom and I have a class reunion in 2 years, and hopefully he can make it. And I already had plans for that. If he can make it, I'm going to try to get some of his friends together and let the public know, meet him at the Historical Society, whatever, and hope that can come true. So thank you very much, and on behalf of Tom, thank you.
Thank you. The previous Coach Dan Valerio Award honorees present this evening are Pat Parenti and Greg Ziogas. The Coach Dan Valerio Committee Award will be awarded to Bryant Lishness. Bryant Lishness reached out to me about 3 weeks ago, and he asked me to edit his bio, the information that he sent to me, so that I would put emphasis on his teams and not on him. That gesture defines the man. Bryant Lishness was born and raised in Bristol. He grew up playing baseball and basketball at every opportunity. At Bristol Eastern, Bryant played soccer and baseball, and he ran track. Most notably, though, is the fact that he was recruited out of Eastern's hallways to wrestle by John Benoit. And wrestle he did. Bryant wrestled for John Benoit, Brian Reardon, and Bob Germain. He was a competitive wrestler, earning all conference titles and winning local tournaments, such as the Bristol Central Invitational. Bryant acknowledges that he was a good wrestler, but he is also humble, and he says he was not as good as the kids that he now coaches. Bryant began coaching wrestling at Bristol Eastern in 1996 as a volunteer assistant to Bob Germain, Dave Thompson, and John Benoit. And the team that he helped to coach, well, that was Eastern's first state championship team. In 1997, Bryant was recruited by Ron Burns to be the director of the wrestling program, currently known as the Gladiators program, at the Bristol Girls and Boys Club. At that time, there were only 14 wrestlers on the travel team and 40 wrestlers competing in a 5-week in-house program. Needing some help, Bryant recruited several new coaches to assist with the development of that program, including Dave Thompson, Phil Susi, Tony Piazza, Chris Cody, and Pete Sassu, to name a few. They assisted the coaches that were already in place, Rich Marino, Dave Gabriel, and Dom Tenen. These coaches quickly grew the program to one of the largest wrestling programs in Connecticut at that time, with wrestling being offered year-round. This program not only provided a home for Bristol wrestlers, but for kids from throughout central Connecticut, from the towns of Farmington, Plainville, Middletown, Terryville, Wolcott, Burlington, and West Hartford. There have been over 10 All-Americans that got their start with the Gladiators, including 2 national champions and a Pan Am team member. Bryant became the head wrestling coach at Eastern in 2017. Entering this season, his record is 244 wins and 41 losses. Under Bryant, Eastern's wrestlers were Central Connecticut Conference champions 8 times and Class L state champions in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Bryant was named Class L Coach of the Year in 2017, 2018, and 2019. And he has been an active board member for USA Wrestling Connecticut for over 20 years. The son of the late Carol and Bryant Skip Lishness, Bryant has 2 sisters, Kathy Susi and Laura Lishness. Laura was honored by the Tramps in 2000. We also honored Bryant's grandfather, Pat Dyer, in 2003. Married to Jennifer Lishness, Bryant and Jennifer are the parents of Mason, who was a former captain of Bristol Eastern's wrestling team. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the Coach Dan Valerio Committee Award, Mr. Bryant Lishness.
Wow. All right. My sister texted me today, and she asked, my sister texted me today. She's the one who said louder, Laura, and said, have you written anything down? Are you nervous? And of course, I'm just winging it. And I'm following guys like Hernandez, who's warned me how emotional he was going to be and how touching that was. So my wife looks at me in the middle of his speech, and she's like, "You're gonna cry when you mention my name, right?" And I'm like, I'm like, no offense to the Hernandez family. My wife's just kind of a wise ass like that. Anyways, I want to start by just congratulating the Tramps. 50 years is quite an accomplishment to be around. And to honor our sports heritage in Bristol. It's a pretty unique organization. I have friends outside of the community, like all of us do, and they were asking me, what's the Tramps? And I said, it's kind of like a sports hall of fame. They're like, well, Bristol has a sports hall of fame. I'm like, yeah, but the Tramps did it first. And they kind of tease us, they tease Bristol people because we do value our sports heritage so much. We really understand how important a role it plays in kids' lives and the fabric of a community, and we're very proud of who we are and everything that we've done. So again, congratulations to the Tramps on that. I also want to congratulate all the other nominees. I see a lot of faces out there of people who were in school when I was in school at Bristol Eastern. And when I congratulate all the other nominees, a special place in my heart is for PT, like it is for many of us out there. I saw the standing ovation for PT, and I'm not sure, if you've never known PT, you really have no idea. She's one of the most positive people in the world and just means a lot to so many people. Small story on PT, one of the first things I learned going into Bristol Eastern was my sister, Melissa Simonik, and Amy Gagnon, they taught me how to forge PT's signature. So, I wasn't a bad kid. I was a pretty good kid in general. I don't think I got a detention through 4 years in high school. But anyways, going into high school, me and Mark Simonik, we knew how to forge PT's signature. So one of the first things I did is, back then we had 7 periods a day in one study hall, usually one study hall. Well, I didn't want to hang out in study hall if I didn't have homework, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to forge a PT's signature. I'm going to get out of study hall. And the nerd that I was, I forged their signature, and I went down to gym to hang out with PT. I didn't even leave school. But the book of passes that I stole, I didn't steal from a teacher's desk. I stole them from the top drawer of my sister's dresser. So, anyways, when I go down to gym, PT's like, "What are you doing here, Brian?" I'm like, "Oh, you gave me a pass, Pete." And she was cool with it. She's like, "All right, if you're going to be here and I have class, you got to participate in class." I'm looking out there, I see Harry out there. Remember, we used to go down to PT's class together, and we'd hang out in her office, whether PT was there or not. But anyways, so I'm like, that's great. We're doing badminton, basketball, pickleball, whatever. This is awesome. I'm a gym rat. This is great. So I was cool with that. First month and a half goes by, and I'm forging my passes every 7th period, going down there, playing all the sports. And then I walk in one day, and there's no nets set up, there's no balls, there's none of that, but there's a speaker. And I tell you, I still wake up to this day hearing, dun, 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 do the hustle. It was a dance class. I had learned how to do Virginia Reel. I learned how to do the hustle. I learned how to do the Charleston. It was awful. So that's one of my stories on PT, but I'll stop there. I want to thank my family. I want to start with them first. I was very fortunate. I had great parents. They're not here now. Obviously, that Mary Ellen revealed that. But they were great parents. They lived vicariously through their children. They supported us in everything we did. Super positive, super supportive. Just whatever we needed, they were there for us. They never missed a game. They did everything they could for us. My sisters, my sister Laura, my sister Kathy, Phil Susi is her husband. A couple of my nephews are here, Peyton and Gabe, who I had the honor of coaching. Also my niece Aubrey and my nephew Donovan, they couldn't be here tonight. Just having their support, and it really shapes a person. And I was always safe. And it gives you a good foundation to grow from and to take on challenges and just be who you want to be. And then in particular, I have to thank my wife and my son. A lot of people don't, I mean, there's a lot of coaches in this room. And so you know what I'm talking about when you say you are a coach, your wife, your family, they make a ton of sacrifices for you, especially if you want to be really successful. You put in a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours. And it's a sacrifice for them. They're sharing you with many, many people. Your athletes, other families, just the schedule, the practices, all that. And for someone like me, I went year round. I was always living on the mat, coaching, doing whatever I could to try to get our teams to be as successful as they were. And it surprises a lot of people because people will ask, Jen, you know, how do you do it? And she's the one who actually told me to try to take the job at Bristol Eastern. I think she was happy to get me out of the house. You know, I'm kind of an ADD type of guy, and with me coaching and being out of the house all the time, I think she grew to like it. And I left Eastern after this last year. My son graduated and he's wrestling in college now. I wanted to go watch him and do some other things. And the other day I came home and there's some positions there for new coaching positions that she's looking for me to try to apply to and get back out of the house. Next to the list of like home projects she's hoping I'll do now that I'm home so much. But a lot of that's a joke. My wife's been wonderful with all that. She's supported me the whole time. She gets just as emotional and fired up with any of the matches as I do. But then I also want to thank my son. My sister goes, don't get emotional. And I think she was talking about my parents, but for me, it's him. So he's been on the mat since he was born. I started at the Gladiators before he was born, and then at Bristol Eastern, she's 15 years ago. In all our old pictures, he's in with his mop of blonde hair. He thought he was on the team since he could walk and show up at matches. Down at the Boys and Girls Club, he used to tell people that, oh, my father owns the club, you know, because we were there so much. He understands this sport and he understands our history at Bristol Eastern because we really value that, like the Tramps. We share a lot of the stories and we call it story time sometimes when we're working with our kids at Bristol Eastern when it's going to be an easier practice. And John Benoit will lead most of those stories. But anyways, Mason knows all those, and Mason he used to ask me, who's your favorite wrestler to coach, Pop? And I've had some wonderful wrestlers, some killers. I've had some All-Americans, and I've had some kids who've done phenomenal things in the state and in New England, and all these crazy personalities. And for me, it's not always the kid who's won everything that's my favorite or not, but really when it comes down to, Mason, you're my favorite wrestler. So. The road trips, going to practices, being in your corner, being in all my kids' corner, it's just an honor, and it really is a big deal. The four tables over there, those are all people who are associated with our program, the Gladiators and Bristol Eastern. I was going to name individuals, but there's too many. There's too many to name. I look at this recognition as a recognition of us and what we've accomplished. And it really takes a Herculean effort to do what we did at Bristol Eastern. And there's just so many people involved, from teachers who would help out and run study hall for us, from our athletic trainer who went from just doing medical work and taping our kids to running weightlifting in the wrestling room, to the parents and the families that have stepped up and helped us with fundraising and doing everything. It really is all of that. It's not just one person. So me being up here, I truly appreciate it, but I feel a little strange being up here by myself because I know all the people behind me that helped. Real quick, two individuals that I am going to mention though. Dave Thompson, he's my best friend in wrestling. He was my practice partner in high school. He recruited me to get back into coaching and back into wrestling in '96 with that team that won its first state championship. We're still extremely close to this day. And we talk almost every day about wrestling and about our kids and our alumni and everything that's going on. And then I recruited him to come into the Gladiators with me. And then, of course, the father of Bristol Eastern. Everyone, I hope most people in here know him. If you don't, I encourage you to get to know John Benoit. I consider John Benoit my mentor. He's a mentor, he's a role model, he's so much to so many people. And sometimes I think he doesn't even realize how special he is to so many people. I know many of you in here do know him. He really is a special guy. I wanted to say one thing profound. I thought I'd come up with something cool. But really, for me, my regular vocation was I was a juvenile probation officer. And people have asked me, why were you so successful? Why are you guys good coaches? Why did you win so much? And this is for coaches out there. When you're a juvenile probation officer, you deal with some of the worst kids and just really terrible situations, kids who've done some awful, awful things. And you're going to be in charge of them and supervising them in the community. When you have a kid who's assaulted someone and hurt them for the rest of their life, or sexually assaulted someone, or there's terrible things, bad families, and they're on your caseload and you have to supervise them, you have to find something to cling to. And you'll hear people, and I said it when I was younger as a coach, don't fall in love with potential. Or you know what potential means? Potential means you haven't done shit yet, stuff like that. That's I'm embarrassed to say that I actually said that and I played along with that. But I never believed it. I really didn't. I don't even know why I said it. But for me, when you're a juvenile probation officer, and I learned this also from Coach Benoit when he's pulling kids from the hall, fall in love with potential. See the potential in the kids that they don't see themselves. If you do that, you will be surprised what you can pull out of these kids and what they will then in turn give to you. I've had some kids who people don't think even belonged on the mat. And by the time they were done, they were all state, or they'd end up being a captain, or just phenomenal things could be accomplished. So I know I'm going long. I didn't want to talk too crazy, but if I could leave any of the coaches in here, the young coaches, don't be afraid to fall in love with potential. Fall in love with potential, and you will be rewarded as a coach. So, thank you.
This year, the Julie Larice Team Award is being presented to Bristol Post 2 American Legion Baseball. American Legion Baseball has been a tradition in Bristol for over 90 years. The city's first junior American Legion baseball team was sponsored by St. Anne's Church in 1928, and the Legion program has operated continuously in the city since that date. In 93 years of existence, the American Legion program, which includes the 2011 Junior American Legion team's state win with Coach Jerry LaPenta, and the 2018 Junior Legion team's state and regional titles with Coach Bill Mason, boasts 16 state titles, 5 regional championships, along with more than 40 Zone 1 titles. Impressive indeed. Our Bristol program has been one of the preeminent programs in Connecticut Legion baseball history. 2 state Legion directors were from Bristol, Fran Mullins and the Tramps' own Dave Greenleaf. We had 3 members inducted into the Connecticut American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame, Doc Gilhooly, Fran Mullins, and Paul LaFleur. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul LaFleur will accept the Julie Larice Team Award on behalf of Bristol's American Legion Baseball Program.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans, good evening. It would be impossible to recall 93 years of legendary Legion baseball experience in Bristol, so I won't even try. Rather, let's have a little fun with the audience this evening. When your name or group is called, please stand and remain standing. Our newly elected commander, of Post 2, Chris Kuchar, and his wife, Melissa. Please remain standing. Any current or past elected officers of Bristol Legion, or any committee members, past or present, please stand and remain standing. Any coach, past or present, please stand and remain standing. Any player, past or present, please stand and remain standing. Any family member of players, past or present, please stand and remain standing. Any fan or person who has ever attended a Bristol Legion game, please stand and remain standing. Now, look around. What a wonderful organization, what a wonderful game. Bristol American Legion Baseball. You see, these persons are part of this team honor. They are part of the legendary Legion team. So we share this honor with you. We wish to congratulate all the honorees this evening. The Bristol American Legion is humbly grateful of the Bristol Tramps organization for honoring us with the founder, the Julie Larice Team Honor, in this, their 50th year. Best of luck in your next 50 years. In closing, I want to share one thing with you. Over the years, there's something we always tell our players. Try your best to try your best. You may succeed, you may fail, but you will always know you tried your best. Thank you.
"13 years ago, the Tramp Sports Reunion Committee was very pleased to add a special award to our program. Once again, Glenn Kornichuk, a 1978 graduate of Bristol Central and currently the president of Gateway Youth Athletic Association in Massachusetts, has graciously donated $1,000 to the Tramps organization to support the Tony Savino Pay It Forward Award. Glenn could not be with us this evening. However, the Tramps will be sending Glenn this plaque to thank him for his continued generosity. The Savino family chose the Recreation Respite Program at the Bristol Adult Resource Center as the recipient of the 2020 Tony Savino Pay It Forward Award. BARC's Recreation Respite Program serves quite a few purposes. The participants in the program enjoy all that the program has to offer. They enjoy playing softball, attending dances, doing yoga and Zumba, and playing bingo. They also enjoy the arts and crafts programs that are offered. This program, while fun for the participants, also serves as respite for the parents and the families of the adults with developmental disabilities. These caregivers are able to enjoy a well-earned break from their duties at the same time that their adult children that they care for are having fun with their peers. The Tramps are very happy to donate $1,000 for the Tony Savino Pay It Forward Award to this very special program at BARC. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the award is BARC's Executive Director, Mary Etter.
Thank you so much to the Bristol Tramps for this award. I am very proud to represent the BARC Recreation Respite Program here tonight, and I feel privileged to be in such good company with the other awardees. I'm extremely excited, especially to announce that this program is going to restart next month after 18 months off. So this is a very well-timed celebration for BARC. On behalf of the board and staff at BARC, thank you so much for your support of our hard work.
At this time, I would like to acknowledge our Tramps Sports Reunion Committee members. Chairman Dan Valerio was here but left because he has his 50th class reunion this evening. Right. Our past chair and current co-chair, Sean Moore. Our executive directors, Ryan Broderick and Chris D'Amato. Our treasurer, Joe Tavera, and our webmaster, Kathy Savino. I recognize and I thank all members of our committee for making this another enjoyable evening. I hope you all enjoyed the evening, our 50th, I don't know about 50 more, but our 50th, and we're proud to be here for 50 years. Thank you for being part of this very special night. Congratulations to all. Drive carefully. Good night.